Good day, junior techies, and welcome to this video where we look at gymnosperms. So we're looking at coning plants uniquely, and this is going to hopefully give us a better understanding of exactly where we are going in the plant diversity section with regards to these very unique plants here. So let's start at the beginning, and we have a seed that germinates. And this germinating seed grows into an adult sporophyte plant, and particularly now we're looking at a pine tree. Okay, so with the growth of this pine tree, and we'll know pine trees can grow very, very large, so the process is quite a long process of growth. So this sporophyte plant grows into a very, very big, large plant, a tree. I'm busy drawing now just one part of that much larger plant, and particularly here you can see I'm focusing my attention on the female cones of this gymnosperm plant. So I'm drawing the female cones over there, and I'm going to be drawing the male reproductive cones at the top of this, and you can see I've highlighted them a little bit there in gray at the end. Both of these structures, both the male and the female cones, are present on the same plant. Okay, so we see here that we have the male cone and we have the female cone. We refer to the male cone as the microspore, which forms the pollen, and to form the pollen, these microspores first need to undergo a process of meiosis. And within the female structure, we've got the megaspore, and they form the ova also through the process of meiosis. And I mean, the process of meiosis should not be foreign to us, so we should know more or less what that means. It means that we are forming the male and the female gametes for reproduction to take place. If we look a little bit more at the female cone over here, I'm just going to quickly draw a section through the cone so that we can just better understand what it is that we're looking at over here. So we're going to be drawing the little wooden-like, and I almost want to call them leaves, but they're not so much that. But we've got these structures here, and on the inside of these structures we'll find the ova right at the base of these structures. Now during pollination, this is where the pollen will move from the male cone to the female cone, and it'll land on the outside of the female cone, and this is through the help of a little bit of wind to do that transfer for the plant and for fertilization to take place. And just keep in mind that once pollination has actually happened, and the male pollen moves from the male cone to the female cone, it does take quite a long time for fertilization to take place. It takes a number of months before we're going to have the formation of seeds. If the ova is present right on the inside of this cone and the pollen lands on the outside, it's important for the pollen to be able to, or to have the time to, grow a pollen tube all the way down to the ova to deliver the male gamete to fertilize the female ova. All right, so that's what you see over here. You can see that there is a pollen tube that grows to reach the ova, and then fertilization will take place. And that's only when the sperm is able to fuse with the ova. And here we've got a diploid zygote that is going to form. If I take and isolate one of these little woody structures and we look at it, we see that we're going to have the formation of two little seeds on each one of these woody scales. We have if we look and focus at one of these little seeds, we can see that we've got the endosperm around the embryo. It's also surrounded by the seed coat to protect the seed from drying out. We have a little wing, which means these seeds are going to be dispersed by the wind, and they're going to float down to the ground, and they will germinate when they find themselves in favorable conditions, particularly where the soil is the right acidity, where there is just enough moisture for germination to take place, and we're going to have the growth of our new sporophyte plants. Now, this has been an explanation of the reproduction and growth of our gymnosperms. Like I said, these are the first of our spermatophyte plants. These spermatophyte plants are our seed-producing plants. So if we look at plant diversity, our gymnosperms are seed producing. And that's so important, because this shows us just that next evolutionary step that's been taken by plants in the way that they reproduce. So I hope that this has been an informative video and that we've learned something, particularly about gymnosperms and how they reproduce. Tune in for some of our other videos in this section on plant diversity. Get your hands on the worksheet and the theory booklet. They're all going to help you prepare for your exams at the end of the day. And I do hope to see you again, Junior Duckies. Thank you so much.